ran a little long for the Infinity War review, so this is our State of the MCU episode. It probably runs about an hour and a half or so. I don't know. It felt like an eternity doing it, so stick around.
All right. State of the MCU. This is real easy.
Yeah.
How does this fit into the MCU? It fits very well.
I would say everything fits into this movie. All those movies were just building up to this moment.
It bookends. If this was a puzzle, this is the picture you get after you put all the pieces together.
Yes, this is the piece in the very
That's
center.
a great way of describing it.
Yeah.
Right. There are pieces that aren't very pretty, and there are pieces that you took a while to figure out where they go.
My bad.
Yeah. But they all come together at the end.
You bought a World War II puzzle, but then you put it together, and it ended up being like...
I'm sorry. Arlen fucking broke me with my beard. Where's my beard?
My beard.
I need my beard. Where's my beard?
What's terrible is I say that every time I see a bird in real life, and I feel like someone's going to be like, why is that guy doing that?
They should bring back Justin Hammer.
No, Justin Hammer's only to be referenced in Luke Cage now.
Yes, we've established this.
Has he been referencing that? I haven't watched that.
Yes.
Yeah, they ended with the Jericho gun.
Of all the fucking things to bring up, like, there's this group of the weapons dealers, and they go, look at this man, Hammer Tech. And I was like, what?
I think they did that.
It's so weird.
It's a name I haven't heard in years.
I was like,
can they just not get Sam Rockwell? And that kind of leads into the whole Black Widow thing. Like, can they not get Liv Tyler to be in these movies? Like, what? I don't understand.
They don't need her.
Yeah, they don't really need her at all, really.
They do. They need more of a female presence in these movies, and
after this movie, could they have her come in to kind of coax the Hulk back out of?
I don't
know.
I feel like
I'm not a huge Liv Tyler fan, so
here's the thing. You brought back Thunderbolt Ross. There's no reason you couldn't bring back Liv Tyler. Like, there's obviously not a legal. It wouldn't be a Hulk movie, so it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters.
I think she doesn't have a place in these movies. It
depends.
If you think of it from a practical point of view, everybody who shows up in these movies, they have a purpose. So even like Helen, right? Is it Helen?
Yes, in Ultron, yeah.
Helen Cho doesn't just show up to be there. That's not her role. She's there to service the creation of the Vision. That's why she's there. She has no other reason to be there other than that. Colby Smulders is there as sort of the person who gives out information nuggets throughout the movie.
She's an exposition machine.
Right.
Well, I love Maria Hill. I think her character. I think her on-screen character is awesome. I
also love Colby Smulders.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, always down for another person from Vancouver to just kind of hang out and be famous.
Yeah,
I need more local representation.
So wait, she's Canadian?
Oh yeah. Also, fun fact: the guy who
she lost 2 points.
Oh come on. No, the guy who did the cinematography, Trent Opalock, is also Canadian, and I really liked the cinematography in this one. Thought it was very strong.
Yeah, with them IMAX cameras.
God damn, dude, them IMAX cameras.
Yeah.
Wait, who saw this in IMAX besides me?
I did.
Me, but I think it was a bullshit.
I didn't get to.
Oh, it was awesome. The sound, I feel like. The biggest thing is not even the pictures, the sound.
You guys want to hear something fucking...
Connor Irving, the IMAX that's like half an hour south of downtown Vancouver, is that a real IMAX or is that like a digital bullshit?
It's digital bullshit.
Yeah,
the only real IMAX...
And I was like, this sucked. This wasn't a good IMAX.
Yeah. No, the actual IMAX is in Silver City, Mission.
You want to hear something
different?
That's the only place Canadians. I'm sitting here in the nation's capital.
Hey, I left that nation.
I have never
seen an
I'm
IMAX trying.
Movie.
IMAX is pretty cool.
Yeah, I've never seen an IMAX movie.
Next time you're in New Jersey, go down to Atlantic City. Their IMAX is actually really good, or used to be. I don't know if it still is.
Is it? Because last time I went to Atlantic City, I wanted to have 4 guns on me at all times.
Thanks, Trump.
If you're ever in DC, let me know. There's like 4 here.
There's one. I live in Vegas. Trust me, there's one here too. I just haven't.
Oh, there's definitely. I've been to movies.
I just haven't had the wherewithal to go find it.
The coolest thing I ever did is I went to I saw Last Jedi at the Air and Space Museum in DC.
I was going to say, my buddy saw Dark Knight at the Franklin Institute, and they're like full dome IMAX.
Yeah,
my wife was.
We have a pinball Hall of Fame in the city. I'm sure I can find an IMAX.
Right. Actually, I'm looking at it right now, Connor. There is the Regal Cinema Red Rock 16 and IMAX.
Oh, son of a bitch! There we go.
I think I went there, and to tell you, there's actually a really good sandwich place in that Red Rock. It's called Capriati's.
You
Well,
say
so-
that like I've never heard of that before, but I've been here for 5 years now. I've heard everyone to like Capriati's is like
Oh.
in
So,
and out as
hold
far
on.
as people.
You know what
as far
it
as
is?
things people hold to a really high standard.
It's actually weird.
Yeah,
'cause
it is at.
They're from Delaware.
Wow,
Question.
And they're
So who-
only in Delaware and Vegas.
Who saw the real? Who saw on like a proper IMAX? Anybody?
I don't. Well,
Me, I did.
Yeah, only him because there are like 86 of them left.
Capriati's is
Everything
actually,
shoots
they're
in
opening
IMAX,
up,
but they don't want
a
to keep
bunch in
supporting the
California.
format.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. You gotta get the Bobby. It's like a, this is gonna be a food zone. You see like a nice cut turkey.
Food
You got
zone.
you got some
It's just
stuffing
one of
and
the
cranberry
Thanksgiving,
sauce
yeah.
and some
Yes,
mayo.
Bobby.
This has now become a food podcast.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, we're not.
No,
Okay,
make
so
that- let them know.
did we answer the how does this fit question from everybody, or did somebody have any?
Yeah, no, I think we all
Diverging
came to
thoughts.
conclusions.
I mean,
yeah,
this is-
I think it's like super obvious, like how it
Yeah.
all fits in.
All right.
This is part one of a bookend.
Yes.
Like-
Okay.
Yes.
What should
And
we...
I think Kevin Feige even said, like,
Yeah.
from this point forward, it will be known as before Avengers 4 and after Avengers 4.
I agree
Yeah.
with that
I agree.
statement.
Yeah, they're gonna
how-
do a lot of resetting in Avengers 5.
Yeah. So I mean, this one might. I don't know if this one will be harder or easier. What should the MCU learn from this movie? And I don't know if there's much to learn because I kind of feel like it's good that they reserved some of the things that they do in
I
this
think-
movie to this
I
movie.
think-
Well, it's like how. What do you learn from a part one of a 2-part movie?
Right.
I think
Yeah.
I
the
would
greatest
say-
question
One
is,
thing
if-
I
if
will
you
suggest
consider
that they
this the
learn
end
from
of-
this is. Oh, go on. Sorry.
So if you consider this the end of Phase 3, the question should be, what have they learned from Phase 3? And that is, good villains make movies.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh,
like,
thank God. Oh my
Yeah.
God, that was exactly what I was gonna say.
I was gonna
They
say the same
learned
thing.
how to do a good villain now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they
I
just
would
need to
say-
keep that.
Good villain's like a weird way to say it. It's not like it's not good villain. It's a villain that you can understand their point of
Complex
view.
villain. Yes.
Right.
That's
He-
it.
he-
I
he
think-
wrote
I
his
think-
own
Good
story.
villain is a villain that thinks he's a hero of his own story,
Mhm.
and that's
Exactly.
what Thanos is.
That's
Yeah.
why Killmonger works so well, and that's why
That's
Thanos.
why-
Exactly.
Well, also, I think if
That's
you have a
why
villain
Vulture
who's
works,
if you
Zemo.
have a villain who's not necessarily like Immortan Joe. Morton
Right.
Joe, I don't necessarily like. He probably believes he's the hero of his own story, but he's also right from the get-go a fucking reprehensible piece of trash, and you immediately want to see him killed in a horrible way.
Right.
Who
Yeah.
is that again?
The
Fury
villain
Road.
from Mad Max.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. yes.
I think this is more like you understand their goal and kind of in a weird logical way get why that's possibly the right move. It's like the Kingpin in Daredevil season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like you kind of see like, well, he's doing it a horrible way, but you
Right.
get why that's kind of possibly a right move.
Well, you see his perspective, you know, like
Yes.
you know, and when you eventually get to the I am, what is it? I am the bad will, or I am the enemy of men, or whatever. When he gets to that scene,
when you get to the episode of the white painting, like
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
when you kind of you
As
get
weird
under
as-
his skin, and you're like, I know why you're like the way you are
Mhm.
now.
Yeah, it makes
Thanos and Kingpin in that Daredevil season 1 have a lot in common.
They do. They really do, actually.
Yeah, they both
Yeah.
smashed the head of a dude in his SUV.
Yes.
Like,
Let me tell you,
Wow.
I still don't think I've recovered from that because
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
I'm
right.
like I'm like, oh, it's a Marvel thing. It's not gonna. Oh my God, he decapitated a man.
Yes, that is where
yeah.
that is the point in which my wife was like, "Yeah, you can watch these on your own."
Yeah.
Yeah.
He decapitated a former cast member from Teen Wolf.
Oh, God damn it, Teen Wolf again. Ah.
I'm telling you, it's Arlen's got.
Ah.
No,
Alan has
it's my
Smallville, but,
Teen
like,
Wolf.
Fucking, yeah, Arlen's got Teen Wolf, but like Alan's got Smallville. This is Arlen's got Teen Wolf.
Yep.
I've never
God
watched
damn.
Teen Wolf, but I've watched every episode of Smallville.
I will never watch an episode of Smallville.
You
Damn,
say
dude.
that, but we'll
There's
make
good
you
stuff
review it
in
for
there,
the
but it's
show.
mostly-
Maybe I should just message him and we can do like our own Smallville podcast.
I mean, you
Small
could
cast.
just
It's
you
the
could-
small cast.
you
It's
could
a small
just do
zone.
it on our feed. You could just do Smallville Vault
We'll do small-
episodes.
We'll do Small Zone. We'll just rewatch the entire show from the beginning.
Small Zone. Yes.
Oh, dude, I want to jump in on
I-
that because
I
I haven't
feel-
seen it since I was a child.
I was
Oh,
gonna say, like,
and-
with the current news of like what's her name, I feel like that would be like not as fun of
Amy
a
Adams?
It would
go
be-
back.
Oh.
It'd be great
If
if
you
you
never
ever.
listened to-
I'm sorry. Here's the thing. It should be the first and last episode. Just be you two, and you're just sitting there awkwardly going, "Well, this was a really bad time to do this."
just
Just
hey,
do a
connect-
live
reconnect
commentary.
us-
that
Well, I
connect
get
us
sync it up.
together, and then we'll set up a time and we'll
Right.
record it and we'll put it in the thing.
Well,
So
like
there's
there's
for that time that they did Toy and it was better.
Does anyone else feel that the Marvel Universe needs to learn from this movie from anything?
I mean, I feel like this movie is all the lessons they have learned.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
This isn't what they've learned; it's what they're going to learn. This is what they've learned.
No,
I-
this is
I feel like-
no, this is what they've been teaching us. That's what I'm gonna say. This is what
This is a midterm, and they got an A. Now we need to see what they're gonna get in the final.
I think honestly, I think the people out there who are like, man, this comic book movie bubble's gonna burst real soon. I don't think it is. And I
No.
think Infinity War is
Yeah, I
very.
think
it's not going
Yeah,
anywhere.
okay, James
I
Cameron.
think a giant purple thing.
Okay,
just
Mr. I don't
okay.
like 2001.
Well, like I think the comics bubble won't burst as long as they're like doing stuff new all the time. Like
Right.
like the reason why Black Panther is like such a huge success because it's this written, directed, produced, like all this other different stuff by like an African American cast.
Right.
It
You
is
know, it's
made
like-
with 100% pure cultural love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
think that's the big thing is
I-
the love.
And
It doesn't matter.
and I think it's like as long as you have like that same kind of feel going forward with all these different films, it's like as long as you're reinventing yourself, like you're always going to find a new audience, and that's like
yes.
how you sustain an audience.
And
Mhm.
I think that's why, and it doesn't need to be said, Deadpool and Logan are standouts right now because someone finally was like, all right, do something different.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
you're allowed to go do something different.
The
Yeah,
one
well,
thing I hope that they learn from this, because Avengers Infinity War is going to make all the money in the world plus
It already
Mhm.
And-
has. Like
Yes.
and
It's like
and-
200 million by tomorrow.
Mhm.
and my
600 by the
hope
weekend.
and my big hope is like going forward that they don't run into the problem that comics run into where events and event tie-ins being like the
Yes.
biggest moneymaker within comics.
So you're
that-
saying
that-
the next one shouldn't be Avengers 1?
Well, it's like so the idea that we just don't have like an event film like every year to like
Right.
because I think it's like the reason why Avengers I didn't like it, but Age of Ultron and Infinity War are so special is because like they're like these once every 5-year events. And I hope like
Yeah.
with like 2 event movies in a row with Avengers Infinity War this year and Avengers Redacted next year, like that the following year is like not another Avengers and another
yeah.
Avenger.
Well,
Yeah.
we've said before, like, wait like 10 years before doing another Avengers, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
whatever your space equivalent is, 5 years. Like,
Yeah, well, that's what, to go where you're saying the space equivalent. I think what they can learn from here is take the same idea and build like 5 or 6 like characters and build towards a space like the Annihilation. You have the Guardians. We've already done 2. The Guardians are your quote like Iron Man of the space.
mm-hmm.
Then we'll get
Right,
Captain
that's going to lead to
Marvel,
Nova and all that.
Nova,
stuff.
Captain Marvel. We'll get
and I want to bring this up now.
Possibly 20th Century Fox properties.
That too.
Yeah,
I want to bring
that's,
this up
that's
and like
the dream.
I'm kind of glad Ed is here because I don't want to make this sound like I'm railing against like your fucking home base here, but I do want to say
I
that
work in it. I mean, to be fair, I work in it all. My company's got Ant-Man and the Wasp projects. We've
Okay.
got Marvel projects
I
in the
do want to
pipe.
say like after Infinity War, Justice League feels like the biggest fucking whiff
Yep.
Yeah.
that I've seen
Yep.
in recent memory, and I don't even hate Justice League.
It-
I
I
don't
do.
dislike it at all. I kind of like it. It's this weird little fucking Frankenfilm that I think is kind of adorable. But
It's
like,
something that didn't
Right,
work, but it
Justice
still
League
got
should be
made with a
compared to
ton of money.
Avengers. It
It's
shouldn't
not the
compare to
movie we
Avengers Infinity
it's not-
War.
To
it's not the
quote
movie
Andy
we
says,
deserve.
I think
No, I'm
I
not
think
saying-
I
I'm
do
not-
hate
I'm not-
Justice League now.
yeah, I'm not saying that the
Oh, I
same. But like
hate it.
after seeing this all work out so well on one side and seeing it culminate to this, and then seeing how like they went from like, all right, we're gonna go from Superman to Batman vs Superman to Justice League in 3 movies, and Superman's gonna die halfway through. How's that going?
Yeah, and to be fair, like I feel like I'm like one of the few people that actually like Justice League, and
You and I are buddies on that point.
I feel like
I
it's
said, I don't
because-
hate it. I'll rewatch it.
I actually
It's
like
fine.
Batman vs Superman.
because I don't think it's
I
like
only rewatched it to make fun of it, and
Same.
because I don't
as a
I
gag gift, I bought my friend a copy of Justice League, and he got mad at me. So,
I think Justice League is not a great movie.
That is
but
true.
I don't think it's the total complete like utter shit show that is like Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, or
No,
Suicide
and the
Squad.
thing is, I don't think Justice League is a creative failure as much as I think it's fucking corporate self-sabotage, like Tom.
Yeah.
Cruise.
And
You
it's
actually
like-
said it like the best. It's a Franken film. Like it's a film that has like 3 different directors, 4 different writers, 2 cinematographers,
There's no-
and then like an editing bay full of people.
I will say this: it's the first time where Superman feels like Superman to me, and I like it for at least that.
So
Oh, you
to
like
me,
that? You like that? Yes, ma'am?
But there's like an image that got shared around in a different group I'm in, and that Avengers and because like we live in a capitalist society and only the success of a film is dictated by like how much money it makes, Avengers Infinity War made just as much money this weekend as the entire global run of Justice League.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm looking at Box Office Mojo right now, and they're predicting Avengers: Infinity War will pull in $250 million in its opening weekend, which will shatter the
Just US.
current world record holder, which is Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
That's
Can I-
just domestic.
can I just
It's gonna
make one
make it
point?
600 million worldwide.
Yeah,
one point on,
I'm just
like,
talking about domestic box office
Yeah.
at this point. You're totally right.
with the JL comparison, one, I am actually a big DC fan. Like I'm
Me too.
much
No,
more
that's the
in
thing.
depth.
My fucking.
I
heart
love
beats
DC stuff.
Yeah.
Like also
I'm a bigger DC fan than I am Marvel. Like I dropped all my Marvel books whenever Brand New Day was, so it's like 10 plus years ago. I haven't read a Marvel book.
Well, you missed some good stuff. I will tell you that.
okay.
Meh. But my
All
point
right,
is,
well, check out that Vision book we mentioned earlier.
yeah, I'll try.
Okay, can I say like one like quick thing about that?
Yes.
It's like
Yeah.
I remember like being at a shop where people were like talking about Brand New Day being like the worst in Spider-Man, and I didn't really like a whole lot about J. Michael Straczynski's run, but like I know like a lot of people were just like, oh, like he got such a raw deal at the end of that book, like how dare they, like Brand New Day is the worst storyline I've ever seen, and then like a couple years later I hear about Sins Past, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Here's
Yeah,
my
like,
this is past
are
the point where they
you-
retcon
Are
the
you
marriage and
fucking
everything.
high?
here's
Like,
here's
if-
my
if-
thing.
If
Here's
I
my
was
hot take on Spider-Man stories. It's real
Yeah.
quick. It's Brand New Day is bad. Here, read this. It's called Spider-Man Reign. Peter kills Mary Jane with radioactive jizz. Have a nice day.
Yeah,
Except for- but-
that'll get you real good.
Except for here's the thing: that Spider-Man Reign is a out in continuity story, while Sins Past actively ruins Norman Osborn, Gwen Stacy, and
Oh,
sets up a
that's
set.
that story.
and
Is that
sets
when
up a-
Norman has the kids with Gwen?
Yes, it's the fucking worst, and
And
it's
then
ruined.
I will say,
See-
you guys think those are bad? You should read Trouble.
See, to me, Brand New Day was bad because it was so lame. It's like they literally sold their like marriage to the devil. I was like,
do any of you guys know what
it's so
Trouble is?
cheese.
I know trouble.
I mean, I don't know. Like,
No.
here's the thing.
Trouble is where they make Aunt May Peter's secret mom, and they tell a story of her as an 16-year-old having sex with her boyfriend.
All right.
Here's my thing. My bar
Thanks, Mark
has been
Millar.
changed because I went through that journey where I was just reading shit. So like all of this sounds really endearing after reading Crossed and Holy Terror.
Can I circle back? So I was bringing that up to more like point out. So like I'm a
Yes.
big
You
DC
read
guy.
DC, yes.
Yeah.
To go back when we were talking about like CW several episodes ago, there's like an earned thing that we've gotten with Marvel that DC kind of took for granted in their films. And DC's not the thing; it's more Warner Brothers. It's like, we got 2 films, and then we're supposed to like actually give a crap at the end of the second one, and then to care about these characters. And it's like, Marvel's done this for a decade.
Yes, but DC's been doing it for 30 years already.
Right, but
Nobody
it's not
needs
the
to
same
know how
thing.
Superman and Batman.
It's not the
Who
same
they are.
thing.
It's not the same thing.
It's
It's
not
a
the same.
movie sort of thing. That's like you're actually very right. That's something I've had a problem with the DC movies is that they're very they want to jump straight to the collection. They want to make the money that Marvel makes by jumping to the same steps Marvel is making at the same time. Marvel's had 10 years, like we keep bringing up. DC has had 4.
Well, that's this whole thing. Why I bring up, I don't say DC. I tend to try to say Warner Brothers because I feel like it's a different thing.
And me and Arlen and us and the mainline show have said DC is not who makes us movies. DC is a broom closet in Warner Brothers Studios somewhere.
Yes.
Except for like, when you have like DC executives who are like also part of the trust collective of like
Right,
making
but they
these
have no
movies,
power. They have none.
But I see like the same mistakes that are being
Compared
made.
to who that has power.
But I see like the same mistakes being made in the films that I do in like post Identity Crisis DC, where like they feel like the way to be different from Marvel is just to be overly grim dark and
you know what's funny is that people have been suggesting me to read Identity Crisis, and I tried. I got to the reveal, and I was like, "This is the stupidest thing I've ever fucking seen."
Interesting.
And now
I love Identity Crisis.
And now I really don't like that story. But that's just my personal take. I think the reveal is absurd, but whatever.
Identity Crisis is ridiculous, but it's a thing of the time. Like I feel like in that story, the parts that to me I like the best are like the kind of outside parts. They like.
But I do like the idea of like this section of the Justice League who are like. They kind of form this little mini society, like, no, we know who did it. We had to go find him.
Yeah.
I like the idea of all them being fucking detective. Like, that's cool as shit.
And I also like the idea of they're like, we can't let Batman know. Like, Batman can't know any of this.
Yeah.
Because Batman will, like, not. He'll just wreck our shit.
He'll wreck our shit. Okay.
But back to
I do want to say, like, I think we feel like we've probably already had this discussion. I think people always say, like, oh, DC decided we're going to do what Marvel did, but we're going to do it dark and gritty. I think Marvel ultimately was like, hey, let's not be so dark and gritty like these Dark Knight movies and stuff like that. Like, there was a balance, and they go back and forth, and they try to mirror each other.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because there's been something that I have heard called, and I've taken to call it, the Dark Knight effect, where there seems to be a prevailing thought that still lingers in Hollywood that if you reboot something or something has to be new, it's got to be dark and gritty. Or it's got to be dark, or it's got to be gritty, or both. And I don't think that's necessarily that's the wrong lesson to learn. And that's what we were kind of afraid after Logan that like Fox would be like, oh yeah, rated R is the solution. Everything will be rated R now because Fox is this dumbass studio and they learn the wrong lessons all the time.
I don't know, man. That New Mutants movie looks really good.
I think
that's coming.
Now they've got a year of changes coming now.
How many
full changes?
Yeah, how many times have they pushed it back?
Twice. But here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I really want that movie to be good. I'm not even being facetious right now. Like I want that movie.
See, it's the thing. Like
that way.
I shit on DC all the time, and like Fox and Sony, but like I want them to be good.
Right.
Oh,
I just have zero expectations.
I really hope Venom is fucking awesome.
Venom looks good.
My expectations were in the fucking toilet.
I will never trust a trailer again. So
that's not fair. Look at the trailer for Hereditary, and it looks as terrifying as the movie's going to be.
Suicide Squad.
We'll say, I mean,
that's different because Suicide Squad,
Prometheus.
they canned the editor and then hired the people that made the trailer, and then they used the trailer editors to edit a whole movie. Which I don't know if you know anything about that.
Yes. So that was
you can't do that. It's that's something. And I heard someone bring up Prometheus. I will fight you. That's a good movie.
Well,
It's a
I will join him in this mission. Actually,
this is where we take a second to just shit
Can
on
I-
Connor.
Can I pitch another podcast? Can we call it Negative Zone and we just shit on things for like an hour?
Yeah.
that's
man.
called an After Dark.
Welcome to the
I-
first season of the Phantom Zone.
I feel like a really good podcast idea would be to like take a controversial movie and like have it to where like you would have two sides of the argument: people who want to defend that movie,
That
people
almost
who want
sounds
to
like
tear down
something
that
we were
movie.
gonna do in the future.
And I feel like Prometheus would be like that first one where it's just like, because I think that movie is bad, but
I think the movie's good.
I think
And
it's a
that-
movie.
I wanna
I mean,
be-
if I know one
here's-
thing about science,
It's almost as though we should watch movies and then someone defends it while the others just criticize it for like the whole time they're on the episode.
almost like
Yes,
a
but-
people
I'm
versus
down.
Batman versus Superman.
So there should be
Um,
a judgment zone.
Real
Good
quick
idea.
before we close out this
Out now,
MCU subject,
available on all your streaming platforms.
I think Prometheus is full of good ideas. I think sometimes it's executed with complete absurdity.
Oh, it is.
There you go.
Yep.
No,
100%.
I've always said it's a movie with a lot of interesting things that it's trying to do. It's just not quite reaching them.
But then you're like Charlize Theron just turns the fucking left.
Yep.
You'll avoid the big rolling donut of death.
It's like when CinemaSins is actually making good criticism, that's when you know your movie is bad.
Yeah, when CitizenSins can actually land a solid piece of criticism on you, then you know something's not right.
But anyway,
But
let's-
I kind of liken it to what are they, concept records for music. Like sometimes a concept record is pulled off so well it blows up. Like look at Kendrick Lamar's "To Pimp a Butterfly." that's a concept record that sells it and gets it great. Look at J. Cole's For Your Eyes Only. It's a concept record that thinks it's so smart because it chose the idea of I'm going to be a concept record, but doesn't really do anything interesting with it. That's Prometheus. It has a lot of great concepts in it, but it falls flat on a lot of parts too.
It's Hobson.
It's
Right.
Hobson. It's the white kid that listens to Hobson.
Oh my god.
God damn it. Okay.
I have no
I don't
idea
know.
what you're
Yeah,
talking
okay, yeah.
about.
We're
It
gonna
it just made me feel really old.
you don't need to know who Hobson is. Anyway,
What do
we're gonna
we
wrap
see?
this up.
I know who
All right.
Hobson
So
is.
I
what-
don't.
What do we see in this movie directly affecting future Marvel movies?
Okay.
Well,
Connor said it. It affects all future
it
movies
affects
because
all
there
of
is a
them.
pre-Infinity War and there is a post-Infinity
Okay,
War.
so this is where we were supposed to do all our theories, but we kind of did all of ours in the main episode. So are there any theories that anybody did not say already that we
Yes.
have for the next one?
I have
I go first, but I have some.
Okay.
like my biggest thing is that one, I was a little bit. I wish we would have seen the decimation of Xandar, but I
Yeah.
feel like it's a direct,
Yeah.
a direct opening to us getting a Nova movie, which I know they talked about.
I think that
I
will
love
connect to
Nova
how we see
movie.
Captain Marvel in some way.
Yes, I think that I would hope that the ending of either Captain Marvel or I don't know what's in between this and the next Infinity War, but like
Captain
Captain
Marvel,
Marvel
and
and
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
yeah, the birth of Nova Prime, I think is going to be needed or going to happen and
Yes.
needed.
Yeah.
And then the kind of expansion into the further spaceness
Mhm.
of Marvel Universe. So I can't remember which rights. I know they do not have the rights to who are the bird people from the X-Men.
Well, somebody looks that up or thinks
I
about
want
it.
to
Um,
say Thanagari.
They don't have
Yeah.
the rights to that. We're
I-
seeing the scrolls in Captain Marvel. Like I
Yeah.
think we're going to get
Lilandra?
further- The what?
It's the people that Lilandra in
Yes,
The Guardian.
I can't remember what they're from, but I know Fox owns the rights.
They
to them.
okay. Look, I just
But
searched up bird
Disney owns
people
Fox
from
now.
X-Men, and the only thing I got was a fandom wiki page for bird people.
No, there's like
Wait, wait, wait.
Yeah.
But Disney
No, so
owns
like
Fox
that's
now.
one of my theories
yeah.
is that now that we have the time stone, yeah.
I'm sorry, not-
One, the bird people are just called bird people, so don't worry. As far as I know,
The Shi'ar.
oh, or avian.
The Shi'ar. I love them.
Yes.
They're like,
Yes.
yeah.
I believe Fox owns the rights to the Shi'ar because
Yeah,
they're
But
Because
Disney
they're
owns Fox now.
Yeah, not
Disney
officially
bought
yet.
their
well,
property.
yeah, not
Not
for like
officially.
a while. So yeah, but yeah, I think that the Marvel, the Captain Marvel thing is interesting. I do want to see what happened to Nova, and I do think, and a lot of people have written articles about this in the last few days, and I'm just assuming that they're going with what I'm thinking, which is this. I think what Thanos did in this movie, it wakes up a lot of the spacefaring races. It jolts them into sort of a sense of like, oh, there are like real threats to like
Yeah.
the world.
Well, Captain Marvel gives us two kind of reawakening weeks. So we've gotten taste of the Kree. We got a little
Right.
bit in Guardians.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anybody besides me watching Humans and
Mhm.
Agents of Shield, we got taste. I think we'll really get some more Kree-ness, and then she's going to bring in the Skrulls as well.
Yeah,
I would love to see the Brood.
they're X-Men.
That's what I
They're
thought
owned
was
by
going to be
X-Men.
coming out of those pillars.
Are they
when I-
owned by X-Men?
Yeah, they're owned by
I
the
know the
X-Men.
Shi'ar. Okay, so there's two of them.
The
I
Brood
think
and the
there's, like,
X-Men
let me-
are owned by.
I said it. I said it
The
yesterday,
Brood are
but
X-Men.
let me tell you
Yeah.
how bummed I am that Inhumans shit the bed so hard because the Inhumans are featured prominently in this Infinity story I'm reading, and it features a page where Black Bolt like fucking screams in Thanos' face and blows up a Terrigen bomb, and the whole exchange is mesmerizing. I'm like, thanks, Ike.
Yep.
Thanks.
Hashtag
Thanks.
Just as a
Thanks.
little, just as
Thanks.
a little side.
Thanks,
I'm
Scott
I'm
Buck.
not exactly the smartest comic book person. Can somebody explain to me who Captain Marvel really is? I don't know anything
Captain-
about her.
Captain Marvel
Okay.
got her power set from an alien engine. Is the simplest way to put it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
A Kree alien
Well,
engine like exploded. and gave-
Also, in
Maybe-
terms of the MCU, Kevin Feige basically said that she's being introduced the way she is because she's supposed to be brought in a power tier that we haven't seen yet.
Yep.
Oh,
Also,
like
to be
she's
fair,
crazy
is-
powerful.
Well, the
And
thing is,
also,
in
and
theory.
also, to be fair, are we talking about Carol Danvers? Or are we talking about Janice Bell?
no, it's
I think we're
definitely
talking about
Danvers.
Carol Danvers.
Carol
so
Danvers.
her power set is that she can absorb energy and she can like redirect it. And she's
Oh,
always
okay.
so she's always been like kind of Omega level tier person.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's also, she's incredibly strong. She can fly. She's very Superman powerful.
Yeah, because that's what I could tell from at least the set photos.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like she has any. I'm looking at the Avengers 4 set photos right now, and
Right.
it doesn't seem like she has anything crazy. I don't know. I'm gonna put a spoiler warning
Yeah,
here.
the only-
It looked. Can I say anything or?
Well,
I don't
I'm,
mind.
I'm trying to keep staying.
Okay.
dark.
Yeah, I was
My
saying
bad.
those. Here's the thing.
I'll stay
Before-
dark then.
And let's wrap up in a few minutes. Like those photos, I dropped them in the Phantom Zone chat this morning, like the mainline chat. They are really heavy on like potential plot details as far as what they're going
yeah.
to do. They're
hell
really
yeah.
they are extremely juicy. So if you're trying to stay away from spoilers, do not look at those photos.
Yep.
You send them to me.
Yeah, here I'll send you the article right now that I'm looking at.
Because
Yeah,
what I saw this morning fucking blew my mind,
But,
and I
yeah, I think
almost
that
wish I
she's-
didn't know it.
She's going to
The
be a
thing with-
big like bridge between the future Earthbound MCU as it goes away from this current set of Avengers and into Black Panther led and Ant-Man led franchises, and obviously the galactic stuff that James Gunn's going to be running.
The ol-
Oh God damn it!
Well,
Okay, well,
it's just a hyperlink, so don't click that.
yeah, no, sorry. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it gives
Well,
the option
no, it
for those
shows-
who don't want to see it. I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
sorry
clicking
about
it.
that, guys.
You're good. I'm not clicking anything.
I'm clicking it.
Wonder if I can. I can't. Oh, wait, nope.
Yeah,
I
click it because I want to talk about some stuff later after this because I have some now theories about that, but we'll leave that for later.
Yeah,
Can you
Brie
Can you
Larson.
post it in the Facebook chat?
Yeah, you got it.
But just post the link though. Don't post the pictures.
I'm not going to post the pictures. That would be so
Okay.
much more effort for me.
So I think we can start to wrap up here.
Yeah.
Can I say like the one thing like I hope this affects in the future is
Absolutely.
that so like I think like there's this thing that in Marvel like within like the last 35 years it's like the idea that like Marvel wants to try and create like legacy heroes and they have like this very kind of start stop kind of thing like whether it be Spider-Man to Ben Reilly or Captain America to U.S. Agent, back to Captain America to Sam Wilson to the Winter Soldier, and so on. And I kind of like really hope that I think going forward with like, a lot of these actors who don't want to play these roles for the rest of their lives because they're human. I hope that this means that going forward that we see like the idea of finally kind of moving forward with like legacy heroes.
Yeah.
So like maybe we see Winter Soldier or Sam Wilson taking up the mantle of Captain America, and since like these are characters that have grown with the audience over the span of like 6 years, like they're a little bit more accepting of seeing these people like take on the mantle going forward.
Mhm.
And I hope we see that with Hawkeye, Captain America, Thor, whoever like going
Right.
forward, and I hope like maybe like with Infinity War, like this is like the really solid break that we see like with like us going to like the next like kind of full chapter of the Avengers stuff, and maybe like by that time, like, and as much as I don't like major corporations buying other major corporations, I like maybe this is like the way that you finally see like Fantastic Four and the X-Men, because it's like why do you need to replace, or like we need to do a Captain America 4 or an Iron Man 5 when it's like cool, we have like these new toys in the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, the Phalanx and Galactus and the Shi'ar and the Skrulls. Like now we can do something else with this.
Yeah.
Right.
I think Marvel's biggest, like, I remember when Guardians came out, when it was coming out, people were like, this is the test. This is the official test of, like, what can Marvel sell us, these fringe things that aren't just the classic Avengers. And I think that after Avengers 4, we obviously are going to have a bunch of new stuff, and that's going to be the second test. It's going to be like, okay, like we'll see stuff that will continue working. We know Black Panther is going to sell. I think the assumption is the Ant-Man franchise will sell, but
Yeah.
as we get into these characters that are going to get introduced after the Avengers movies, it's like those are the next level.
Yep.
Those are the next
Things
tests.
just need to sail, or
Yeah.
things just
Yeah.
need to change.
And
See, my. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, like, so we've seen two movies and two
Right.
kind of like, depending on how you count Thor in space. Like, I feel like the next realm really is to go past Doctor Strange into the magic world, So we got like a little bit
Yeah.
of test if you watched Agents of
Yeah.
Shield, but that's kind of like not necessarily continuity.
Yeah.
But like we need to go deeper into the magic realm because in
Well,
like the
they've-
Marvel comic verse, the magic realm is at times the most powerful thing, especially characters like Ghost Rider.
Mhm.
And I think that's where I would love to see them go forward in. Because like
Yeah,
Captain
I mean, they
Marvel is
teased
I
the-
want Nick Cage
they've teased
in
the real Mandarin.
in the mix.
yes.
Yeah.
And Captain Marvel's another space character. I want to go more into depth into the magic end. Like I would
You
love
want
to
the
see.
Dark Avengers?
What do you mean, like the Norman Osborn ones, or like
Or like the equivalent of the
No.
Dark Justice League,
Dark
Dark,
Justice-
but for
Yeah.
Marvel.
I
more
would
like
much
the
rather.
secret?
I would much rather see the Young Avengers.
maybe
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
like
I would love to see
Yeah.
Young Avengers
But I feel
or
like
the current champions
West Coast
type
Avengers.
characters.
like I would love to
And
see
they,
like
they just smoke weed all day.
yeah.
No, like
Like,
I mean, like
Smoke
I
weed
wanted.
every day.
I mean, I would love to see Kate Bishop, Hawkeye, like on the big screen at
yes.
some point.
Like Kate Bishop
Well,
and the Kamala
We
Khan.
do have
Yeah.
a new Warrior show coming out relatively soon, isn't it?
True, yeah.
Nobody
And-
knows, but yes, that's supposed to be happening. It's
I think I'm the only person that's watched Runaways, but I really enjoyed it.
No, Runaways is great.
Yeah, I've
I
only
really-
heard good
really good.
things. It's just
I-
I haven't
I-
had time.
I really did not like the Runaways. I think I watched 6 episodes and I ditched it. But
Oh,
I liked it
the
a
current
lot.
the
I
current
liked it.
the current Runaways comic I think is the best comic I'm reading at Marvel right now. Like
Interesting.
that shit is the best the Runaways has been since like the Brian K. Vaughan run, and I will like defend that book to the death. Like that
The
book is so
Hawkeye
good.
Brian K. Vaughan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Runaways Brian K. Vaughan. Like-
Oh, okay,
like-
sorry.
The current Runaways by Rainbow Rowell and Chris Anka. Like if you like the Runaways, like you need to pick up the trade for Runaways by those two.
hmm I think that show did a good job in like what it's. I you only got 6 episodes, but I think when it ended, it really tied everything up good. But I would want to see more magic things. I don't think it's out of the possibility that we get a Doctor Voodoo showing somewhere. Like I don't try to think of other magic-y characters
Yeah.
that would
You
fit.
got Damon Hellstrom. You got Nico. You got
Well, we already have Nico in Runaways.
you got like Man Thing. Like if you want to count him.
I would say
Anna.
I think I want to see like a Blade, a Captain Britain, some of those other kind of
I want
otherworld.
Union Jack.
I would actually.
Yeah.
Like ex Union Jack. I would love to just see Captain Britain and the MI-13.
Yeah, Captain Britain's
And
Yes,
just like
I want to
got
see
Britain,
Excalibur.
Blades, yeah, Spitfire, and just like all Pete Wisdom, just all the MI-13 people, and they fight like Dracula on the dark side of the moon.
Oh my god.
Okay, this got real fucking nerdy.
But the thing
Yeah,
is,
no,
like,
that's why I was so
nerdy-
quiet because I
as-
just
I-
can't compare to you guys.
as
Well,
nerdy as that is, I feel like it's-
drifting into a fugue state of pure exhaustion at this point.
Same.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean, I think the obvious
Alright,
is
I think that's
obviously
our
we're
cue to
going out
wrap
into
up.
space. We're going out into space. What will they do on Earth? And we don't know. It remains to be seen.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do much on Earth, to be honest. Like, I think that we'll have sequels to the movies that we know, but I don't. Everything that I've heard so far says that we might not get new characters who aren't space characters, and I'm fine with that because
The only thing
a
would
break
wanna
is
bring up-
earned.
is after Thanos, there's only like 2 other villains I could think of that are kind of on his level. And that's Galactus and Kang.
So it's like we need Kang.
Well,
Kang has
Kang
got to
is
show.
FF, and so is Galactus. So
Yeah, so like, is Kang? I don't know. What
really? I've
I know
always considered
Galactus
Kang an
is the
Avengers
rights.
villain.
Yeah, I don't know where Kang's rights lie.
he's FF because of
Was he introduced in the Fantastic Four?
yeah, and even if
He
he
definitely
wasn't,
became an Avengers villain.
But I think Kang is mostly known for being an Avengers villain.
it doesn't
Right, but
matter.
it's
Who,
about what they
what
were
matters is
introduced
where you were
It's
introduced.
whatever he was
first.
introduced in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
Stupid.
no,
I
that's
feel like
not.
it's,
No, that's not necessarily true because of Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch.
Well, no, okay,
they were
so
first
that's
introduced in Avengers.
so somebody in the legal field decided that
Yeah,
is
that was fun.
that's a split. That's like a split down
Yeah,
the middle.
well, it's like
Somebody
this-
came to that
this-
conclusion,
Marvel owns the Skrulls, but Fox owns the Super Skrull.
right? And other
Yeah.
other specifically named scrolls are owned
Can't
by
call them
Fox.
mutants. their miracles.
Well, no, okay, that's another thing altogether. But yes, calling them enhanced and such. But like, so yeah, certain characters, it does matter where they came in first. But again, like there are certain cases where they have decided, no, that is sort of a split decision, or that character is more one than the other. You know,
The
like,
legalese was more upfront because they knew, like, well, we're not going to just full on sell Scarlet Witch, who she's an Avengers character more prominently in the comics.
Because like Ego was an FF character, and Fox had, who the fuck did they have?
Well, Fox also didn't they can sell back individual characters if they sold back.
But
they traded. They I know at one point they offered.
We got Punisher.
But I'm trying to think who they traded Ego for. Who was it?
Yeah, I think it had to do with
Negasonic?
Well, yeah, it was Negasonic, because Negasonic was.
Negasonic is an X-Man, but they completely changed the entire character.
Right.
That's why they had to trade.
And then Negasonic was introduced after the catalog in which they bought.
Right. So the rules were different for her.
That's a good trade.
Yeah.
I remember when Daredevil was up, they were offering to trade Galactus, I think, for Daredevil, and Marvel was like, piss off.
Yeah. And then we're like, no, we're going to do a TV show, and then Ike is going to take over and then do all of that on his own.
And then Ben Affleck will appear.
God damn you. God.
Never forget.
Make a small cameo.
I had to do it for Hunter.
All right, I think we're good.
Yes. Before this becomes the last show I ever do, because I think I'm just gonna sleep forever after this.
Look, we've actually been recording almost as long as Infinity War is.
I think
longer.
Connor,
Actually.
Last week or a week and a half ago, I recorded 5 of 7 days.
I know. I was there on the tail end with you. Yeah, no, that was a long. That was a long podcast too. I think that was like 2.5 hours as well.
Yeah, and I've had morning shifts the past 2 days at the hospital, so I'm just like, ugh.
Let's get this boy out of here. Let's wrap this up, folks.
All right.
It was at that point that I heard Pennywise enter my bedroom.
Okay, you can.
Oh no,
you're fired.
Not channeling.
You're not even working for us.
Only gets so turned on.
All right. Plus.
There's the Infinity Fist.
All right. Who? Let's start this out. Connor, let's get your plugs.
I have been Connor McGraw. Movie Dumpster's still kind of down for the moment. Sean's computer's fucking dead. So I'm hoping to at least get something up on the Facebook page, maybe a written review or something. But we still have 14 episodes out to listen to. I finally listened to Big Bully today. We were kind of on top of that episode. I'm sure we sounded a lot happier than we sounded during House of the Dead. So please listen to that one.
Yeah, that's a good episode.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, as I pointed out, Joe does a perfect Leonard Snart impression. So if you're a fan of this show,
it is fucking frightening how much he sounds like Wentworth Miller sometimes. I didn't notice it until today.
Yeah, so that's
good. You made a good comparison this last week.
Yeah, Lost Horror Podcast. Next episode is the action movie episode. We just released an episode last night because I didn't realize that I hadn't put it up about cinematic universes and other cinematic universes.
I'm sorry, I forgot to mention again. Shadow Zone is coming. I'm still editing it. It's just I have to get past my own self-loathing in order to get out the door.
Can I ask you, what is the idea of Shadow Zone? Is it
Shadow
ghosts?
Zone is it's everything it's all the weird stuff you can think of. Our first episode was on man-eating animals.
Okay, because if you ever do it and you want to guess, I have 2 really crazy stories.
I'm gonna start pilfering from practically all of you at some point.
I am
good.
related to
I'd
a
love
very
to.
famous person that was possibly trying to like hide what it is, but they was charged in possibly eating people.
Oh my god,
Okay.
I need to hear this.
You definitely and also for anybody who's wondering, we kind of have a Shadow Zone backdoor pilot. It's After Dark 15, I want to say. 15 and 16, or it's 14 and 15.
And there's a quick bit. I had a fucked up day, and I was like, I don't want to talk about anything, and then we ended up just talking about weird and spooky shit between a bunch of us, and we talked about stuff between personal ghost stories to Rasputin to weird occurrences to UFOs to
You guys
fucking
hear the Golden State Killer got caught?
I think that's something else we're probably going to talk about eventually too. Like I'm probably going to talk about serial killers who have been gone silent and haven't been caught yet. I have a feeling that the original Night Stalker is going to get caught soon. So
Well, they did.
Well, I'm sorry. Not the original. The copycat, I believe it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one of them. One of them.
Well, for my story, if you ever want to tease it, here's a great tease. So it starts with me getting a call from my dad saying, "Hey, you might get a call from the media asking about your cousin. Don't tell them anything."
Okay,
yeah.
I need to hear this story.
We
Yeah,
definitely need to
okay.
have you on at some point.
This is getting put in the back pocket. Okay.
But, what was I saying with my plug? Lost Horror episode on cinematic universes and why so many of the cinematic universes are just shitty. We lay into The Mummy, a movie that I didn't watch till after we did the podcast, but it still works. Nothing that I said was wrong. Yes.
Okay, good. Because I was going to say, don't be committing blasphemy.
Hey,
I'm talking about the old Mummy.
Well, the old Mummy wasn't trying to start a universe. You know that very well. You know it wasn't trying to start shit.
It wasn't laying the groundwork.
I don't know. There was like 7 Scripting King movies.
Perversely, like I kind of want to like own a Dark Universe T-shirt.
Same, actually.
I think the name for the Dark Universe is rad, but that's besides the point.
The logo is cool, and I did like the music that happens.
Look,
but...
I would at this point. I have a Clash of the Titans remake T-shirt. I'll take any piece of shitty.
Of course you.
Give me that. Give me that shit merch.
I'm Ed Bauman. You guys should all go check out Ant-Man and the Wasp. The company I work at worked on it, and I personally am working on Aquaman for the next few months. So check that out as well.
That's cool.
Ed will be back for that episode. I guarantee it.
I am super fucking excited for Aquaman, actually. So.
Yeah.
That's what I will say when you guys talk about all the franchise, the things that work and don't work, and as it comes down to good creators with good visions, and I personally, from what I've seen, think Aquaman's got that. So
yeah,
I'm hoping.
I don't think there's a single piece about Aquaman's team right now that has made me nervous at all.
No,
so
it's fucking James Wan.
No, it's Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I'm in.
I'll put it this way. I've worked on a lot of movies. I've had a lot of big reshoots scheduled. I haven't heard anything about that for Aquaman.
Yeah, because James Wan's the fucking best.
Tested well, from what I've heard. So
the only thing that bothers me is Amber Heard.
I mean,
she was
part that scares me.
She was not great in Justice League.
I just don't think that she's a good actress.
I mean,
I don't even think she's a bad actress. She's somewhere below that.
Mm. Okay. Who's next?
All right. My name is Connor. You can follow me on Instagram at maybe_Connor. I don't really post there because I hate myself.
Same.
And Twitter, I'm System Monitor 1. I do post there frequently. So if you want to see us, if you want to laugh, you can try and follow me. Maybe I'll make you laugh. And actually, for once, I have an actual thing. Next week, I believe I'm launching my podcast with my friends called The Best Worst Podcast on the Internet. So I'd love to have some people listen to that. So yeah, it might be next week, might be the week after that, but yeah. It's coming out soon.
You already got 2 subscribers at least, probably. So.
Fantastic. Thank you.
I am fucking in. I don't care what the actual content is. That title has me.
It's it's inspired by Dynamic Banter and Comedy Button. If you listen to those ones,
all right,
we just have a soundboard mixed in, and we just goof with each other because we love each other and we hate each other. It's very fun.
You want to hear a quick story about the Comedy Button? Never listened to a single fucking episode, and somehow found myself in that Facebook group. That's kind of how this podcast got started.
Yep.
Oh, okay, awesome. Yeah, no, I just love that style of just sitting down and bullshitting. So that's what we're doing. But yeah,
all right, guys, I'm gonna actually go. I do want to leave you with this though. If you've seen every Marvel movie in theaters and you bought even half their DVDs, you've given them $500. Just crunch those numbers.
I need to do my plug.
Wow, it's not even counting IMAX. Well, I'm Lou Gonzalez. I'm going to be starting a podcast called Small Zone where we take 5 minutes to talk about every episode of Smallville and how awesome Michael Rosenbaum is.
Yeah,
Right.
can I be on that one? Because I'd love to just talk chat about the first few seasons of Smallville.
Hey, it's the first live-action appearance of Green Arrow.
Yeah, that is true. And the first
Aquaman.
live-action appearance of The Flash.
Aquaman and Black Canary and Cyborg.
Oh man, I forgot Cyborg was in.
I am not being sold.
And Doomsday and
Your turn's over. Who else is here?
And the Phantom Zone. But yeah, sorry, go on.
Bizarro.
I'm John Seiler. You can find me on Twitter at John_FN_Seiler. I work for Faku Books and Faku.net. So if you love Japanese erotica, you should totally go to that site. And also if you're over 18.
Of course.
I will also be at Anime Central on May 18th in Chicago, running the Faku booth, and I will also be in Phoenix Comic-Con on May 24th. So if you're at any of those conventions, stop by the booth and say hey.
So hold on, you what you're telling me right now is you work and are going to be dealing those big anime titties?
Yeah, all the time. No,
Fantastic.
I worked for the company for about a year, and so far I've been to Detroit, Montreal, Chicago, LA, Seattle.
Well, if you're ever in DC, let me know, and if you can give me a free pair, that'd be sweet.
We actually might be going to a convention in DC pretty soon. I know that the word in the past has always kind of been that it's a little bit more expensive to run a convention or to run a booth in DC because of certain legality things. And also the DC
Those damn unincorporated states.
Well, and also the big DC convention is also around the same time as a big other convention in the country, but I think we have a workforce enough to where we can do 2 separate conventions at the same time.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Who didn't do it?
Is there
That's
anything
out.
else?
Yeah, Chris,
Oh.
you're here. Don't forget.
Oh
one more
my
thing.
God, I'm
Do
so
I have
sorry.
to plug things?
I'm sorry. One
'Cause,
more thing. You can find our books in Diamond or in local comic book stores now. So if you're in a local comic book store, you can totally find our books.
Look for the
Damn.
big anime tits.
First ever
Um,
legitimate plug on this fucking show. Yeah, Chris, how about you?
I don't really have anything to actually
How about this?
plug, but I
Plug your
will say that
goddamn music.
my screenplay that I've been working on off and on is about halfway done, and then one that I started is about a quarter done.
Nice.
Dude,
Also,
fantastic.
Also been working on an album as of late. Should be ready in the next 2 months or so, hopefully, if I have the time.
and no one
It's
forget that
basically
Chris.
folk grunge-esque
Oh, so Bright Eyes
self-discovery,
and
sound.
Nick Drake sort of stuff?
Like front bottoms stuff.
Oh man, that's the right word. Thank you.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know
listen
what
to that.
I don't know.
I don't know
any
what
of
that
is.
means.
Yeah.
Pop punk.
It's
Pop
folk emo.
punk.
Goddamn
Folk,
white
yeah.
people.
Also,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm
don't
sorry.
ever let Chris tell you, but he is the godfather of the Phantom Zone podcast, and he's not gonna say it himself because he's fucking weird.
Mhm.
I'm
But-
humble.
No, you're
Humble brag.
not.
The show wouldn't be the same without all you guys, including Alan, Arlen, Connor, and Hunter.
Right, but we wouldn't have actually done anything. We would have just sat
Yeah,
there
but Listen,
well, we should
listen,
do a show.
listen, you sad sack of shit. Just take some goddamn credit for once. We
For
give it
fuck's
to
sake,
you.
Chris, you are a talented individual, and you do nothing but spread creativity. Accept
I
the
know,
praise.
and that's why I have
and
no
use
time
it.
in my life to do the show anymore, which I really am bummed about.
He has become our personal Eeyore. Every time he's on the show, he's like, "Well, I guess that's just the way it is."
Oh dear, I'm just really talented.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also,
I mean, it
confirmation.
could be worse. It could just be Alan berating me for an hour and a half
Here's
about
the
why.
thing. That would be a great podcast. People would listen to that.
Especially because Alan's so fucking soft spoken. Then sometimes he's just like, "Hey, Chris, fuck you."
So is
Anyway.
that the negative zone?
That's the negative
That's
zone.
the negative
Anyway,
zone.
that's the end of this episode. This
Yep.
long in the tooth episode, and I'm ending it now before it has the audacity to go any longer. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. I love
Bye.
all of
From the
you.
moon.
Bye. Fuck
Ready?
Apocalypse.
Fuck X-Men Apocalypse.
Just snapping my fingers.
And Jake.